And welcome. I am going to do something very different today. I am going to pull a goddess card. I'm going to channel that goddess. So whoever it is that wants to come through, to feel that they are ready to come through. And then I'm going to pull from the Good Tarot to see what it is that they wish to speak about. So let's see. Spirit goddesses, I call upon you for your message that is ready to be moved through me. Okay, that's a lot. So we got Saraswati, mastery, on the top. This will be our goddess. I just want to, okay, this is making perfect sense. Here's another master card, 33. Mama Coca, water. Okay, mastery. And then we have Lilith, independence. Okay, I am feeling very strongly, and I've talked about this over the last little while about the water codes and how the water codes are so incredibly important. This is a 29, which is an 11 as well. Okay. Okay. The 7 of the air. Okay. Yeah, I get it. Let's see. I wanted to. Thank you, Spirit. I feel very strongly that the message that wants to come through here is indeed talking about mastery and independence rather than looking to others for guidance. This talks about as well, like the water codes that have come through. I know I've been putting out water codes. These are all master numbers here that are sitting here, which is really, really powerful. This card I actually see as a teacher. Okay, I see this as a teacher. So the message that Saraswati is wanting to bring through is that of teaching, is that of mastering. What have you mastered that you are able to pass on to others with your wisdom? Becoming independent rather than relying on somebody else or looking to somebody else for constant and consistent guidance. I'm also hearing copycat energy, that the time has come to let go of, following what you think looks good because somebody that you really admire does something in a certain way. You're being asked to move into your own sovereignty, your own mastery, okay, to flow like the water. Like right now, we are coming into a big time of mastery with the water codes, and Lilith as well is all about being independent. She doesn't take any shit from anybody. Let's just be honest, okay? But she has had to be strong and independent, and this is what this is talking about. Okay, it's talking about mastery through that, mastering your emotions as well with the water card coming out here, wanting you to master those emotions, find your own independence. Okay, really. Oh, and here's the moon. Moon is the water card as well. Some of you within this reading, it's time for you to move into a different skill set. Okay, you have been working in the same area for a very, very long time, and you're kind of afraid to move into a different area because you don't want to lose the ground that you have, the seniority that you have. But there is something else that is calling to you as well, and they're asking you to move into your own independence of this, to take up that beginner's mind, that new skill, okay? To move into something that you really haven't shown, okay? But it's there. It's there. And you have had it in other lifetimes. And there's a 7 of Earth to, 2 sevens, divine numbers, flanking the moon. And they are really, really talking about here about the seeds that you have planted that are almost ready. They're almost ready to pick the fruit that has been ripening on that vine. You have been diligent. You have worked very, very hard. And it is now time for you to move out on your own and to become independent as an independent leader, way shower, they're saying. And as I'm speaking about this, I'm kind of thinking in my own brain as well about the different things that we are so afraid to venture out onto new things. And some of us never ever, get really, really comfortable in an area, and we constantly like change. But this group that Saraswati and Mama Coca and Lilith want to speak to you today is about the goddess energy, embracing that fearlessness that you really have within you to be able to bring into fruition what you have been hiding from the world, really, and really asking you to move forward on that path. Stepping into it really feels like, stepping into that feminine aspect of the self, that creation, that and I've been having a lot of creator energy lately, of being able to move into that ability to be able to create something new. And whenever we hear the creators, for some reason, for me, I always believe that it's masculine. And what Saraswati and Lilith and Mama Coca are all saying, they're all, it's interesting the way they're bringing this to me, is that they are telepathically speaking to me as one, because they are all connected in the energy that they are in. And they are saying that for far too long, we have viewed upon this planet the creators as being of the masculine aspect, when the creators are not just masculine, they are feminine as well. For without the balance of these energies, nothing can be created. Everything is created within the light and the dark, within the sun and the moon. The opposition of things is how things come into fruition and how they come into creation itself. Things are buried within the darkness of the earth and require the pull, the magnetic energy of that sun to be able to pull that up in from the earth in order to create growth, and that spurt of growth that you are being asked now to grasp onto. I'm also being shown the energy of the snake, and being able to hold on to that energy, to rise that energy, to shed that old skin, the old beliefs, and allow yourself to begin again with a beginner's mind in something that may feel that it is a bit uncomfortable for you. For when you're moving into discomfort is when you are growing. With all growing, there is some type of pain or discomfort. We feel it as pain upon earth, but it is not pain if we allow it to move through with ease. It becomes a discomfort, okay? An uncomfortable constriction, contraction, until it, just like everything as it is created, the heartbeat, whatever it, there is that pulsation. And when we are moving through something new, it is in a contraction. Okay? And then as we move through that, we move out. When we allow that contraction to release, it moves us out into an area where we have a release or a relief. And that is what life is all about, is a constant contraction, expansion. Contraction, expansion. Contraction, expansion. And that is how it works. You are being asked to embrace that contraction. The expansion part will come with much more ease when you embrace that contraction. I'm also being told to not take things personal. This is not, although this is a personal journey within our humanness, We are asked not to take it personally, for we are all journeying as individuals, but as one. So everything that is reflected and is experienced as a group consciousness. And therefore it is not personal, it is simply a desire to experience that particular energy. Okay, is there anything else that you wish? Mama Coca is talking about the sacredness of the waters. And she's talking about the sacredness of the waters in all ways, all waters. She's talking about the blessing of the water when we're in a shower, when we're in a bath, the water that we drink, the pitcher of water that we place our water within, the water that that we are drinking, our lakes, our rivers, even blessing the water that our pets are drinking, that our children are drinking. It is really important that we bring that blessing and that vibration into that water, because water is one of the biggest percentages of our body. And when we put that water into our body, however it enters our body, whether it enters it through rain, through swimming, through drinking, through showering, through bathing, whatever it is that we are doing within that water, some of those remnants of that water are running through us and off of us and touching us. And those codes then are entering our body. Okay? And they are blessing those waters that are within our body, which then at that time will help us to be able to move into a higher state of frequency, which allows us to then see things differently, feel things differently, experience things differently, and receive wisdom and knowledge differently, from a different perspective. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Okay. I'm going to give you a quick little verb, just give me a second. For each of these goddesses, to see who they are. Saraswati is a Hindu goddess, which I knew. Okay, so she's all about art, language, knowledge, music, and poetry. Okay, I really felt like when I connected with this card coming in, that it was really about teaching, but I really do, I can see where that can definitely play into that with what she said. So let's see. The world we inhabit began from the oceanic waters of life and the waters that surrounded us in the womb, both of which are the domain of the Incan goddess Mamacoca. We are most attuned to the qualities of water, as the element of water symbolically represents our emotions. Our emotions move us to make and perceive the world as we know it. Okay, well, that's interesting. And then Lilith. I think everybody knows who Lilith is. But Lilith gets a really bad rap. Lilith is a Jewish goddess who refused to be dominated by the first man, and as a result was called a demon in the stories about her that followed. Okay? These inaccurate, damaging stories are so old and repeated so often that no one recognizes how pervasive their implications are. Okay? The lesson that Lilith offers is that no one can prevent you from blooming, from learning all you can, from evolving and choosing freedom. Okay? That's only your conditional thinking. And that's interesting because that came up within the reading as well. So that's really fascinating. My camera is just kind of wonky. It's kind of making me a little bit annoyed. That's what it's doing here. But anyway, thank you everyone for joining me here today and listening to me. Thank you for all that you do to support the channel. And until next time, please remember to always let love be your guide.